We now know more about the president's sex life than we really need to. There's no going back. You heard it, I heard it. At the very least, you probably heard some news anchor repeat the phrase, "reminded me of my daughter." And then you vomited in your mouth a little bit. Just know, you're not alone. Yeah, it was gross. It was descriptive. It mapped out every disgustingly awkward detail possible. And the president's people deny every single bit of it, which means it's most definitely probably true. You know, it's not every day this sort of thing takes place. For example, I'm not sure many of us ever thought we'd see a day where a porn star would get so much screen time on 60 Minutes, especially considering that's probably about 59 minutes more than our current president spent on top of her. Allegedly. Anyway, the world doesn't make sense, but that's why we're here. Let's get through this thing called life together. My name's Raph Esparza, and you're watching Early Late. Welcome back to Early Late Night, a show that promises to talk more about a porn star than you're probably prepared to handle this week. Now, of course, this entire show can't all be about Stormy Daniels and her alleged affair with the president. Believe me, I wish it could. So instead, we're going to take our time and dissect each element of that story. But first, we're going to take a moment and look at what else is going on in the world. Here's what's happening in the news. Last week, over 1 million people marched for their rights to bug some of your closest friends on Facebook. In one of the most memorable moments of the march, one of the female students from the Parkland shooting stood in complete silence for close to 4 minutes. When they heard that she said completely nothing for an extended period of time, a spokesperson from the NRA responded, "Hey, that's kind of our thing." My favorite part about that march was the fact that the amount of people who showed up were roughly the amount of people that Trump thought attended his inauguration. Elsewhere, Barack Obama recently said that if he could play for any NBA team, it would be the Spurs. Meanwhile, Donald Trump says the only reason he isn't in the NBA is because of his Spurs. It was announced that Oprah Winfrey sold a quarter of her stake in Weight Watchers. This story is confusing in England, where it reads, "Oprah loses weight but gains pounds." I have to wonder, if you sell a quarter of your stock in Weight Watchers, how many points is that? I'm just asking. I mean, listen, guys, I love bread as much as Oprah does. So I just want to know how much I'm budgeting, because you got to do it daily. So you want to make sure of that. My my teleprompter man is trying to just bypass and be like, "Fuck this. Let's get on to the next joke." Message received. Raph, we don't have all day to do your Oprah jokes. If you could please just move along, I think we can. Oh, okay. We'll transition into some sad news. Sad face. Donald Trump Jr. and his wife are getting divorced. Apparently, he spent too much time colluding with Russia. He wasn't colluding with her. That was worth it. Every part of that. I want to stick on the Oprah jokes for a little bit because, let's face it, guys, Oprah's way more beloved than Donald Trump Jr. Did you see the photo of him and his wife getting divorced, though? I have never seen a more appropriate derp face from two human beings, and I say that with love. Nothing says we're going to get divorced like that photo over there. When asked about voluntarily testifying in front of Congress, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg recently said he might not be the best person. He did, however, suggest some people in the margins from your old high school that you might want to hear testify instead of him. Here's the kicker: they all think you're still fat. And finally, Playboy model Karen McDougal said that Donald Trump tried to pay her after they had sex. That's pretty rough, though. He'll pay a complete stranger for sex, yet he won't pay any attention to Eric. But I love the Playboy model being like, "He tried to pay me." And I was like, what else do you think he does? You think Uncle Scrooge isn't going to hand you a whole bunch of money bags and be like, "Get on out of here, broad"? Hey, you know what? That'll do it for our monologue. We got a great show lined up for you, and we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. We turn our attention back to the Stormy Daniels case. On Sunday, more than 20 million people tuned in to CBS to hear the porn star's side of the story, which is why I thought it might be a good time to analyze her story from all of the angles. And, I'm sorry, excuse me, what are you doing here? And why do you look like me? Oh, that's because I am you. Thanks in part to the Dr. Quinn Fairness Doctrine, I'm just the political opposite of everything you stand for, and I'm here to give equal opportunity to the other side of this political spectrum. Wait, what do you mean that you're the political opposite of me? Well, I love Jesus, and I love guns, and I love guns so much, sometimes I shoot them up in the sky just to say hi to our Lord and Savior, Jesus. Exactly. That doesn't even make any sense. Let's take a closer look. That's Seth Meyers' bit, though. Well, he's stolen from me in the past, so anyway, that's not the point. Let's go ahead and take a larger examination of the Stormy Daniels testimony. So, Stormy Daniels, a porn star, told her story to 60 Minutes, alleging that she didn't sleep with him because she was attracted to him, or... No, don't say that. She won't know her business. Don't call her that. She was afraid that she wouldn't be cast on an episode of The Apprentice. Yeah, okay, so what if she did do him for the fame? Does that really change anything? Oh, most definitely. It means she had a motive, and nothing more is dangerous than a stripper with a motive. Just look at the movie Independence Day. That doesn't mean... Anyway, listen. Here's what I don't understand about this case, which is, why is it that conservatives and Republicans, and specifically evangelicals, rally behind this president, even when he curses and has multiple women testify against him? That's the misconception. Conservatives, Republicans, and evangelicals don't like Donald Trump. They just like to watch the world burn. They're basically all the people who watch a Batman movie who sided with the Joker, even though he kills like 100,000 million people and stuff. But it kind of comes off as like Donald Trump is the ultimate 5-second rule gone wrong. No matter how many times he does something awry, all of his base seems to stay... still good. Correct. For example, okay, he slept with her while he was married. Still good. Okay. And then he apparently had her smack him in the ass with a copy of a magazine with him on the cover. Still good. And then he told her that he, quote, reminded her of his daughter. Yeah, still good, especially in some parts of the South. God, okay, I have to stop here. I think we can admit one thing together, which is, even if she's lying, and she's probably not, and completely fabricating this entire story, she definitely did her homework. Infidelity? Check. Giant ego? Check. Questionable relationship with his daughter? Double check. You know, other self, it seems like there's a few things that maybe we can, I don't know, actually agree on. Quick on three. Name your favorite burger. 1, 2, 3. In-N-Out Burger. And anybody who says differently is missing a chromosome. Deficient a chromosome. You said it faster than me. See? Oh, it's cool. It is cool. We should do this again sometime, you know? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. People like the bit. But if they don't, then we're never doing this again. It might not. Or if it's too hard to, you know, edit. It's going to be a lot. So, anyway, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your time. What were you doing before we were even doing this? Oh, masturbating to Christian music. Myself, everybody. Thank you very much. The opposite version of me. We'll be right back after these messages. Yeah, I didn't know that we were going to get this kind of controversy starting so soon in this rebrand or this reboot of Early Late Night, but I'm very sad to tell you guys that there is controversy abound with the return of Early Late Night. So it appears that Ben Affleck, we did a little fun joke. Ben Affleck recently got a tattoo that it's questionable. I don't think he enjoys it. He told people that it was for a movie role after there was a lot of pushback on the internet about how hilarious it was. And yeah, it appears He wasn't a big fan of it. What we did is we made a meme. We made one of those like successory memes, the ones that tell you inspirational nonsense, but that you can apply in your everyday lives. We just said, look, if Ben Affleck can get away with wearing this, you can get through your day. That's the basic gist of the joke. Now here's the sad part about it. That actually got reported on our Instagram page. I kid you not. I've been doing jokes for years. That's the first time we have ever received any complaint, be it through verbal tap or through early late night or any of the other places I write jokes for. So we were a little stunned, to say the least. And I wish I could show you the photo so you could kind of see for yourself, but that might get us banned again. So I'm going to give you the best approximations of what that looked like, so you can look at it here or here. But really, it mostly looked like, well, that. Listen, I thought at first he was just targeting us, but if you use the hashtag Ben Affleck, tell me if you see that photo of him with the tattoo. Something tells me that Ben Affleck himself, and I'm just speculating here, he might have spent some time and gone through and reported each one of the people who posted that photo. And the sad part is that photo's hilarious. It's still on our Facebook for like 2.5 seconds. So go take a look at it and enjoy it before it goes. But I can't believe that. If you are watching Ben Affleck, I hope you understand one thing. You're a 2-time Academy Award winner. You don't need that photo. Let us have something. Okay, the world's gone to shit. Everybody hates each other. Politically, it's terrible. But the one thing that brought us together was your terrible tattoo. So I beg of you, Ben Affleck, give us this. You were there for our previous greatest need when you gave us Geely. Give us one more thing. For good of country. We'll be right back.
I'm not doing that to you guys. No. Okay, it's so good. Hey! You're too young.
Okay, that's cool.
You're such an idiot. You know what's really bad? It's 316 day. You know what that is, son?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest is one of the most ferocious MMA fighters out here on the local SoCal circuit. He just recently had a big win over in Morongo at LFA, and I think it went viral with one of the photos. There's a very infamous now photo of him standing over his opponent that he just knocked the shit out of with the gladiator, "Are you mad? Come at me, bro" arm expression on your face. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a friend of ours and one of the first guests on this show, Christian Aguilera. Christian, how are you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, dude. Okay, so right up top, Christian Aguilera. I mean, there's a certain kind of name that kind of might get associated with yours. Is that an issue that you faced?
I was cool till I was like in, I think like 5th or 6th grade whenever she started making it big.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone started calling me Christina Aguilera, so got sick of it, started hitting people, and then they only called me once.
That didn't inspire you to become a fighter, though. You know, you're not thanking Christina Aguilera anybody or anywhere.
Oh, nah.
Okay.
Nah.
To be fair, though, it could be worse singers.
I guess. Could be less attractive singers, so.
I was about to say, because I will let you know this 100%. I think one of the first times I was typing out your name by proxy when I was covering an event, I just wrote out Christina Aguilera, and I looked later at my notes, and I was like, she didn't do any? Oh, ooh, I got to fix that. But tell me a little bit about this. You had a big win. What was that experience like? Tell us a little bit about the fight.
It was awesome, man. I really like fighting for LFA. It's super organized, and they really put on a good production. But as far as in the fight, it was pretty much what we expected. He's really good on his back. He's really good on the floor. So as soon as he was able, I went to throw like a head kick and I slipped, and then he ended up getting my back for the first half. But like I'm brown belt myself, so we just keep it calm, relax. As soon as we stood back up, though, I knew I was just gonna like stick more to boxing, keep it on the hands, and then ended up catching him with that uppercut.
Was that kind of the game plan? Because, obviously your back getting taken isn't part of your game plan, but you were able to get the knockout, I believe, in the third round, correct?
Second round.
Second round, my apologies. When that happens, you get a little bit of time to recalibrate. What were some of the things that your team was telling you in between rounds?
No more kicks. No, they were just saying we were doing a good job on the feet, keep it standing. He's going to look more desperate to take a shot, which he was in the second because he had more success. They were just reiterating like the game plan to me in the corner, which was keep a long jab, keep it standing, and then look for that 6 up the middle.
That's really, really cool. So how did this fight come together? How did you get matched with this opponent?
I got my manager, Jason House, who just calls the coach and tells him like they have an opening or not. But I kind of figured after the first time I fought for LFA in January, I knew they were having another show coming back in March. So that was always like in the back of my mind, like if my first 2 fights this year go well, then I'm gonna try and get on that one just to keep like a little streak going. So I didn't get hit in my first fight for LFA on the January. I only got hit once in my second fight in February, and so this one was just I was ready. I was in shape. I kind of figured that we were going to get the fight, so I just stayed ready.
Let me get this straight. You fought once per month this year?
Yeah, that was my 3rd fight this year.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That's a bit of fighting. Normally they space them out a little bit more. How are you able to do it once a month?
I don't really take we don't really take as a team, we don't take time off. So after we get a fight, we're back in the gym, either learning or like decompressing or skill building or helping someone else for their camp. But we're always in the gym, so there's always we're always ready to take another fight, always in shape. So as long as we don't get hurt in the fight, there's no reason not to fight again soon because we're ready. Camp's good, body's good, everything's healthy. You don't know how long you're gonna be healthy, so.
Okay, but you're a bigger guy. I mean, you're not like huge or anything, but don't like you ever want to eat like a normal person every once in a while? Maybe go take a nice little vacation, especially after you win, because the idea of actually fighting someone is a journey and a process into itself. So to rinse, lather, and repeat all over again is one of those things where you go like, what do you get to enjoy any of this?
I do. I give myself like 3-4 days where I can eat whatever I want, and then like the rest of the week where I'm just like kind of toning it back down, but still eating at least one meal. That's outrageous. But after that, I'm kind of over it, man. Like, because I still got to go to the gym. If I'm like eating shitty food, I'm gonna get beat up the next day. So might as well like be healthy and do something productive rather than just eat for.
I guess my question to you is, what is that cheat food? Like the minute you get the opportunity to go ahead and go back and eat whatever it is you want, what is that food? What is that thing that you're craving?
Usually pizza or Taco Bell. Those are my go-tos.
Pizza, I'm with you on. Taco Bell, I'm with you on. A very different region. But Taco Bell, of all foods, that's what you're craving and missing?
Man, I like it just because the nacho cheese they use, and you could tell it's like bad for you, which I like.
I like that that's the mix that goes down. You're just like, you know what? I love me some pizza. And, don't even give me the meat at Taco Bell. Just give me that cheese gun and just let it go down.
Take that all day.
Man, that's incredible. Okay, so let me ask this. It's now the end of March. We're going into the beginning of April. Are you planning an April fight now? Or what happens after that? Because are you just trying to fight every month?
I don't know about fight every month. Those ones just happen to come together, and we just happen to be ready for them. But I guess we put like 3 big wins together in a row, so we're looking for a little bit bigger of an opportunity now. Maybe with LFA, maybe with someone else. I know Contender Series is coming back up for UFC, so hopefully get a shot in there or take a last-minute fight. But I don't know. I'm going to stay ready. I'm going to stay healthy. I can't get too fat. So
that's fair. I mean, when you say that you give yourself 3 to 4 days off after a fight, all I keep thinking is I'm like, no, I give myself 3 to 4 days off just daily.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a very different lifestyle for that. When you do start looking, I guess when you're combining your camp together, tell me what that is comprised of, because I know, having been familiar with so many of the people you train with, the number of people that are high caliber individuals, but maybe the average day person watching this who may not know about MMA may not know how many different coaches or camps or individuals are kind of responsible for helping you to get there.
Yeah, I'll train most of my MMA. So every morning I go over to Oyama's place, Monday through Thursday, which is their MMA practice in the morning. And then my nights are only when it differs. Sometimes I'll go over to Classic Fight Team, depending on who I'm fighting as well. But I'll try and make it over to Classic at least 3 to 4 times a week as well. And then if I'm not there, then I'm wrestling over at Oyama's at night, or I'm training with them sparring. So I don't know, I'm usually at like 2 or 3 gyms a night. Plus, in the middle of the day, I'll usually try and go train with EJ, just to like skill build, game plan. It's more detail oriented. And then if I have extra time, either on usually my Fridays and Sundays, I'm over with Chewy at Raw Talent Boxing.
Nice.
So a lot of different places, a lot of different gyms.
And you're also coaching at the same time, so you're also teaching a number of classes yourself, correct?
Yeah, I run the Muay Thai program out of 10th Planet Orange, so I run Classic Fight Team Orange.
Okay, but you also run this, last time I guess I was running into you, you were trying to invite me to take one of your combat jiu-jitsu classes. Now, let me ask this. Why does the average practitioner need to do a combat jiu-jitsu class? Because, like, listen, it's probably just, the dream's not going to happen for me, my friend. I don't necessarily feel the need to slap anybody, but why should people do that?
I don't know, it makes it more realistic to the situation. If you ever plan on going to MMA, or you ever just like want to test your jiu-jitsu for a street fight situation, combat jiu-jitsu is at least a safer way to do it, rather than just like go out and wing it and pull deep half in a street fight and get your face pounded in. Like, some things are applicable, some things aren't, when there's that threat of like more imminent violence, if you will.
Sure. I think the first time somebody laid like a slap down on me, I was just like, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing? I don't have to do this. This isn't what I signed up for. There was something I did forget to mention on your fight, because somebody brought it up, and I usually comb through the different comment sections of when people have fights or whatever, and the internet is full of trolls. But one of the things I saw was, and this kind of stuck out to me, and I'd love to get your response to it, was when you did stand over your opponent and you expressed out your arms in a wingspan form with the "come at me, bro," as we mentioned earlier. There was somebody who said, I see you standing over him like a D-bag. What's up with that? So I guess my question to you is, what is up with that?
I don't know. It just happens to be there. It's either that, or I punch him in the face a couple more times. So I feel like that's the less threatening version.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything you do, someone's going to criticize it. So I don't know. My hands just, I don't know what else to do with them at that point. So they just like happen to raise up. I'm like, oh shit, it worked.
I'm so glad that you have the Ricky Bobby defense to it. I don't know what to do with my hands at this point. But what does go through your mind? Because there has to be a feeling of elation when you're just kind of like, cool, everything happened. I won. Like, you don't get a lot of time to really think about what you're going to do. It seems pretty instinctual, correct?
Yeah. I don't know. Usually I just like start screaming and saying a bunch of stupid shit to the camera. So I'm not sure what goes on. But I don't know. For this one, I was more frustrated than anything. I feel like I should have finished them in the first. I was just making stupid mistakes, being a little too wild. And there's a lot, like, I've already watched this fight and took notes on this one. So there's a lot of things I need to fix and a lot of things we need to go back on. So there's not that much time for, like, congratulations in this one, because I found too many holes.
Sure. No, that makes sense. I do want to know that, though, because have you ever planned out anything that you're going to say after a fight? Like, does that even register, or are you just so preoccupied on just getting it done?
I don't really think about that at all. I just more preoccupied about the fight. Like, that's why I'll say some outlandish things in my interviews, or I'll just make like weird references, because I don't know. I don't plan anything.
Well, if that's the case, what was the most outlandish thing that you've said in an interview thus far? Because so far you haven't really like called out anybody, you haven't made fun of anybody, so it's not really, I guess if you're watching this and you don't know you don't really see you, I'm sure, as somebody who does outlandish stuff.
Nah, but I curse a lot in interviews, and I try not to. It's usually the biggest thing.
Why?
I don't know, because it's supposed to be a family event. You can't replay it. I don't know.
Whatever. I have very little patience for people who don't have time for cursing, and more importantly, you see studies that say that you can trust people more who curse because they're more honest.
See, I believe in that.
That's what I'm saying. And well, okay, you said that you sometimes are looking into the camera and you're screaming out nonsense to the camera. Can you tell us what some of that nonsense is? Because I never hear what the hell it is. I just see a lot of times, to me, on press row, it usually just kind of sounds like, oh, and you know whatever, and I love you guys. And I'm like, I understand everybody's turning into Yoel Romero, whether they think so or not. But as it happens, I know they just fought, and they might not have the most coherent version of a thing to say to the camera. But what are you saying when you say to the camera?
No, I'm usually thanking people or just shouting out all my teams. This time I kept like taking off my hat and gangbanging classic fight team. So it was a big one this time.
I was about to say, the 10th Planet crew is very much into the gang signs. It makes me very worried for you kids.
Man, I don't know about all. Yeah, I'm still getting used to throwing those up at tournaments and shit.
So is it hard to do, do you throw out of people of 10th Planet who don't do the 1-0 correctly? That's just a rumor I've heard.
No, I'm not that hardcore into it. They wear too much spandex for my liking still.
Really? So you're not a big fan of the spandex options for this?
Nah, man. Like, I'm used to more wrestling style. More shorts and a shirt, and if I fuck you up, I fuck you up. Like, I don't need to look good while I'm doing it.
Well, okay, we're getting into maybe a psychological aspect of this. Are you just jealous of what they're wearing? Do you want to be a pretty unicorn? Are you sad that you don't have the kind of spats that you would want? Because I think we could work on sponsors to try and, come through for you, sir.
Yeah, I think we need to. I need some kitty spats in my life.
Is that what you want? So are you the guy who wears and we're going to get to this, I think, a little bit later. But were you the guy who looks at that cat rash guard, singlet, and you're just like, gotta have that?
Nah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm more traditional. Like, I'll just wear shorts and whatever shirt I have on. I don't really plan my outfits out to coordinate. I dress like the dude from Dragon Ball Z and shit.
Well, it is a big way of it. I think it's a way that certain people kind of express themselves. There's a certain thing that I see when people have too much money, and I go, how did you piece all of that together? Because I just think to myself, I'm like, yeah, when people go, I think one time somebody told me, they're like, you don't match your rash guard with your pants. And I was like, no, I match clean with clean.
Yeah, see, that's more my style.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's ask this. Okay. We're going to end up cutting just very quickly in a second, but I want to make sure that people who don't know you get an opportunity to know you. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. They're very basic, but you might be timed on it. There might be a prize at the end. I can't tell you yes or no out of these things, okay? But these are very basic questions for people to get to know you, Christian Aguilera Bear. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Last movie you cried at?
That movie Max, where the Navy SEAL dog comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That one got me.
Okay. Best song to work out to?
Cowboy by Kid Rock.
So that's where okay. Why is it that you wear a cowboy hat?
I don't know. Sometimes the mood just strikes, and I feel like the hat's appropriate for the situation.
Do you have a formal cowboy hat? And who gave you the cowboy hat?
I just got them over the years. Like, gone to a couple rodeos, got the hats. Just randomly accrued a bunch of hats.
Who is the best MMA fighter alive right now?
Oh, fuck, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I would probably say, I don't know, Tony Ferguson and Khabib are the two, like, specialists that are doing the best right now, so probably pick one of them.
When you're in the 10P for L, have you gotten the opportunity to train with Tony?
No.
Okay. Just wondering. Okay. Because I know he sometimes, depending on camps, he's working with, like, Jeremiah and all these other people. And there's so many freaking 10th planets now, it's hard to keep track who knows who.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
All right. Least favorite food?
Probably green beans.
Okay.
Or corn. Actually, corn.
Which do you get better gifts on, Christmas or birthday?
Birthday.
What's the best birthday gift you've ever gotten?
My grandma usually makes me a couple sweet potato pies and pumpkin pies, so that's usually my favorite every year.
Oh, all right. I'm liking that you eat like a real person, because the MMA fighters who don't eat like real people and who just say things that are trying to be relatable, instantly make me angry.
Nah,
Because I love when people who are in shape, like your personal trainers, go like, "Oh, I eat like a fat kid," and I'm like, "No, that's something in shape people say to be relatable. That's a falsehood." Couple more. All right. Let's see this. If that was the best gift that you've ever gotten, this is a very, very important question. If you weren't MMA fighting, what would you be doing?
Probably be a personal trainer or something. I've always liked the fitness industry, but I like hitting people more, so probably.
When was the moment you knew you wanted to be an MMA fighter?
As soon as I walked into the gym the first day and saw the jiu-jitsu class rolling, I was like, that shit's cool. And then I told the coach that day that I wanted to be a fighter, and then that was it. 8 years later, we're here.
8 years later. And final question. This is an important one. If you were to describe your style of fighting to an animal, what animal would it be?
Probably a wolf.
Why a wolf?
Because they're aggressive and they'll just keep fighting forward. They don't back up.
It seems about right. I definitely have seen a few fights like this. Well, guys, if you are watching the regular version of this show, we're going to go ahead and cut here. I want to say thank you to our good friend Christian. If you guys want to stick around, we're going to talk with him a little bit more about how it is he started fighting, what he's found most success with, and you can find that on our premium page. But Christian, I just want to say thank you very much for talking with the folks. Do you want to give any shout-outs before we go and get off on this version?
Yeah, just check out Classic Fight Team, Team Oyama, and 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Check out the gyms, man. That's it.
Thank you very much, Christian Aguilera, everybody.
Yeah.
That's it. That's our show for the week. I want to thank all of our guests. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have not subscribed to us, do us a solid. Subscribe. It's not that hard. Just push the little subscription button underneath. And if you aren't following or helping us out on Patreon, go on there. Donate to us. We've got a lot of really talented people who are working on this show. We want to be able to give you guys more and more episodes, so the more that you give us love, the more that we go from there. And if you guys know of any good sponsors, I mean, right now, I'm kind of thirsty. The kind of thirst that makes you want a beer. Maybe a beer sponsor for the show. Maybe for me to drink with the guests. And I'm very sorry to the guests who I didn't drink with today. It's just not in the cards. But for the future, we could potentially have drinks and do that sort of thing. So we're very open to it. Anyway. That's pretty much going to do it for us here on the show. We want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Look for us coming out in April with another 2 installments of Early Late Night. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Rafa Esparza. I hope you guys have a great day, but an even better Early Late Night. Hey, what's up, guys? Raph back here again. As the credits roll, we always like to give you guys a little bit of the audience interaction that we get. And you guys really knocked it out of the park on this one. And when I say knocked it out of the park, I mean, woof. The prompt for this week's social interaction here at Early Late Night was, list your best fake Avengers Infinity War spoilers here. You have a few theories about Hawkeye, and more than a few of these that tie into our current political situation. So let's read a few. Andy Luster. Donald Trump makes a cameo as himself and tells Thanos that he's going to make the universe great again. Wherein Thanos punches the heck out of Donald and says, "You're right, I am." Why wouldn't he just use the Infinity Gauntlet? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway. This one comes from Benjamin Unanawo, who says, after getting served by Thanos, Tony Stark wakes up J.R. Ewing style in the cave of the first movie and says, "It was all a dream." Glad we cleared that sample for us. Michael Studeman says Hawkeye gets Bucky's arm, Falcon's wings, and Ant-Man's suit, upgrading him to a real superhero. The rest go on with their lives as normal people. Such hate for Hawkeye, guys. Mike Stallings has a picture of Vince McMahon that just says, "Cena wins." Then there's an LOL. But if you know Vince McMahon, he doesn't actually laugh. So, there's that. Stephen Kirkman says, Superman rescues everyone in the end. Now we know that one can't be true because Superman couldn't even save his own superhero team-up movie. Just saying. Or the one with Batman. Or frankly, any of the ones he's been in. This has just all been terrible. Couldn't even save his mustache. Chris Olivio says, Thanos changes his mind and decides he's tired and goes home. So Thanos pulls the old man card and just like, you kids. Brandon Marcel Frederick Stafford says, we find out Black Widow is pregnant with the Hulk's child? Do you know how they ended up having a baby together? Hulk smash. You gotta wonder though, I mean, like, if Hulk's really going at it though, does she have to wear like the Hulkbuster suit for protection? I'm just throwing stuff out there, guys. Parker Seafrost says, Hawkeye kills Thanos and saves the world because Thanos forgets that Hawkeye was an Avenger. Oh yeah, Arrow guy. I knew I forgot to kill someone. To be honest, that seems like a very likely outcome. This is, okay. I'm going to warn you guys about this one. I'm going to do my best read possible, but you know what? Judge for yourself. Brian Bloss. Thanos is transformed all the Infinity Stones that are in the gauntlet, turning him into a giant Mickey Mouse, and then causes a merging of the universes where Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool kills Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan, and then destroys this DC extended universe with a Death Star, wiping out half of all fandoms in the process. Like, Brian, I hate to tell you this, you got your virginity back from writing all of that. I can't promise you lost it ever, but I know you got it back if you... Okay. Matt Whitman. This one I enjoy. The shawarma was the final Infinity Stone all along. It's a good one. Ben Pyle, end credit scene. A lone figure picks up the now stoneless Infinity Gauntlet from the rubble, slips it on, and Wolverine's claws pop up from the knuckles. Following text. Wolverine will appear in every Marvel film. So we wish. Thank you guys for all chiming in on those. Some of them were good. Most of them were terrible. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. Okay, here we go. So first of all, Robert Downey Jr. is going to show up and he's going to be like, Thanos, I'm going to tell you a few things, and this is really sassy, and can I get a little bit of a action scene going on here, because I guess I'm really the star of this whole thing. Chris Evans is going to be all pretty for a little while. People are going to go nuts about the fact that he has a beard and longer hair and whatever. Thor doesn't anymore, which doesn't make any sense because Thor needs hair like that. Hawkeye ends up coming back from the dead at least 3 times, I'm guessing. Scarlet Witch can't figure out if she's evil Jean Grey or the Phoenix. And by the end of the movie, Black Widow gets her own movie. Spoiler, it's Avengers 4. Take that. Meanwhile, Black Panther is just basically going to show up and just be like, yo, can you guys believe I'm the most successful action movie for a superhero ever? And Thanos is revealed to be a Scooby-Doo character when he rips off his mask, and he was actually John McCain the whole time. Who knew? That's my best guess. I don't know what you guys think. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night.